How do you find startup ecosystem in Gujarat?
We have been supporting startups who have a business angle which is innovative but not precisely of a disruption format.
What made you inspire to start Echai?
So the journey of starting Echai was during my college days I struggled, and I always used to feel that if I had a right mentorship and support, I could have done far better. Then 4 years I worked. So after having a 4 years of corporate experience, I realized that I could do something for the people like me.
What brought you to Ahmedabad University?
I signed up for a term abroad to India. So it was 20 days traveling through the country. One of the days we stopped in a town outside of Jaipur called Baguru, where they specialize in hand block printing, and they've been mastering that over centuries. And so that's when I had a social entrepreneurial light bulb moment to connect the artisans to their markets around the world.
Hi, my name is Chinmay Shah from Startup Steroids. Today we are at Ahmedabad University and we are here with industry stalwarts of the startup ecosystem. We have Debopriya, we have Jatin, and we have Chaudhary. Welcome to Startup Steroids.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, likewise. I would like to know from you first. Please tell us what is your journey so far and how do you find startup ecosystem in Gujarat?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Chinmay ji, for inviting me for this session on Startup Steroids.
My pleasure.
And also thank you, Ahmedabad University, for hosting this. Again, going forward in this discussion, if you ask me about the startup ecosystem's experience of Gujarat,
Correct.
so I would say that my journey started in 2016, 2015.
Wow.
So that was the inception of startup ecosystem.
Definitely.
And Jatin being here, he was also, pioneering Echai at that point of time. So it has been a very sinusoidal journey of the startup ecosystem. But, cutting it short so that we all have our bits to add on to, current ecosystem is booming in different ways.
True.
So there are different communities that are building, inspired by different institutions, different colleges, different organizations. Initiatives like Startup Steroids are coming up. So, there are multiple podcasts and multiple community building activities going on everywhere.
True.
Particularly in the segment that I have been working is the incubation part and the startup handholding part, wherein we have been supporting startups who have a business angle which is innovative but not precisely of a disruption format.
Okay.
So we believe that teams that have a gut feeling or a strong desire to change something that is already happening can do wonders.
Correct.
So it need not to be something really innovative to create or bring a change in the world.
Right.
So that's what we are working at in Antrapreneur.
Nice.
And going forward, I'll add more to it.
Sure. No. That's so start from basics. It
Yes.
did not have to be disruptive. It need not be some game-changing thing, but it should be operative or it should be sustainable.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. And 2016 is a long time by now. So
Yeah, it is.
great. Jatin, if you can highlight on what made you inspire to start Echai?
Okay, so Chinmay, first of all, thank you so much. And nice to be in this room number 100 of Ahmedabad University. The least number of people that I am here because we've done a lot of events together and so many people. So we started Echai in 2009. Okay. So the journey of starting Echai was during my college days I struggled, and I always used to feel that if I had a right mentorship and support, I could have done far better.
Correct.
Then 4 years I worked. So after having a 4 years of corporate experience, I realized that I could do something for the people like me who feel that they could do better in life,
True.
but they never had the support. With that idea, in 2009, we started Echai
Okay.
to bring people together to get access to support and mentors and a lot of
It
other
was
things.
very progressive. In 2009, nobody thought of this community building or startup as an ecosystem.
But very surprisingly, in 2009, I had a feeling that everybody around me was planning to start up.
Correct.
Probably that feeling is quite prevalent right now.
True.
But I had the same feeling in 2009 also. So everybody who used to work with me in a company
Right.
was thinking about starting on their own.
Correct.
So that was the idea. That was the genesis of we starting HI.
Right.
So it's a 16-year journey now. Over the period of years, we have evolved. The
Right.
ecosystem in the state has evolved. So now there are so many contenders for each category of businesses. And it has all those patterns that a typical ecosystem would have. That very few people will do it.
True.
Then a larger set of people will do it. The existing leaders will come and do something around it.
True.
People who started in 2012, they have scaled up massively.
Right.
So now not only they build their businesses, they build resources now.
Correct.
So one of the person that we were talking about is Utpal Vaishnav.
Right.
He started his business around that time.
Correct.
And right now he runs a business where he supports, incubates, and so that's an interesting pattern which mirrors ecosystem of an evolved startup ecosystem.
Right.
But the numbers are smaller.
Correct.
So in Bangalore or in Hyderabad or Singapore, you'll find thousands such examples.
Such. True.
Here
true,
or there could be 50 such examples.
Correct.
So it has all these exciting elements.
Right.
But now the job collective for everyone is to
Right.
can we make that number from 550 to 500 to 1000.
Right.
So that's an interesting journey that
is,
we
it
have
is.
gone through, and as a state ecosystem is going through.
Definitely. So two notes from this. One is, every Ahmedabadi, whomsoever is working, having a job, they have a dream to do a business someday. There's a blood in businesses in their blood. And second thing, what you said in 2009 is genuinely a very alarming and good thing. Good, you are early movers advantage.
That is helping us now.
Right. Excellent. So, Jeremy, what brought you to Ahmedabad and what brought you to Ahmedabad University?
Yeah, so my journey here started also in 2009.
Nice.
I was a student. I'm originally from the US, and my college in New York, I signed up for a term abroad to India. So it was 20 days traveling through the country. One of the days we stopped in a town outside of Jaipur called Bagru, where they specialize in hand block printing, and they've been mastering that over centuries.
Right.
And so that's when I had a social entrepreneurial light bulb moment to connect the artisans to their markets around the world. I wrote a proposal and was awarded a grant. So after I graduated in 2010, I packed up a backpack and I moved to Bagru.
Wow.
And so that was the start of my India entrepreneurial journey. What was supposed to be 10 months quickly turned into 10 years, and was doing a lot of ecosystem building, grassroots ecosystem building there in Bagru, sharing knowledge about digital marketing and e-commerce with the home-based artisans, so they could get their products online, connect with designers from around the world, and cut out the intermediaries and middle persons that were taking all the profits. So more recently, the last 5 years, I've been in incubation. And so before coming to Ahmedabad, I was director of Alloy Growth Lab, which is a business incubator in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Right.
And then India called again last year in 2024. And so was looking to join an incubator in the academic side of things. I've always been very passionate about working with students. I was a student entrepreneur, a post-grad entrepreneur, and so I knew that was the logical next step of my career. And so very grateful that this opportunity here presented itself. And so I've been with Ahmedabad University for about 6 months now, leading the venture studio. So we are the technology business incubator of Ahmedabad University. We were started back in 2011 with a collaboration with the Stanford University School of Design Research. We ran about 10 cohorts through that original program. Then around 2016, 2017, we started to become approved on the different state and central government schemes, funding programs. From the NIDI programs to the Startup India Seed Fund scheme. And so now we operate across 3 unique facilities on campus. We have a co-working and events hub at North Campus with the Cafe Venture Studio. On the central campus, we have the DST Prayashala, which is an engineering and prototyping lab with 3D printers, laser cutters, VMC machine, manual lathes. And then we also have a Department of Biotechnology BIRAC supported bioness facility So there we have biology, chemistry, and cell tissue culture instrumentation for startups in life sciences, in biotech.
Impressive. Quite a lot is happening in Ahmedabad University, I must say. So 6 months by now, you're a little Ahmedabadi by now?
Little bit.
Little bit.
Kemcho.
And I see you're having a chai. So
Yes.
that is a progressive thing. What to do. And at Antrapreneur, Debopriya, if you can highlight any specific, are you a sector agnostic incubator?
So basically, yes, we are a sector agnostic incubation center. At Entrepreneur, we believe that any person who has, or any person or team who has an idea,
Right.
should have a space to at least discuss.
True.
You know,
True.
like there are multiple ideas going around us every day.
True.
But there are very few places where those ideas are entertained.
True.
So, like when I was growing up, or when my friends were growing up, when we used to go to our teachers or our parents, or, I'm not specifying someone
Yeah.
or somebody, but
Overall.
it's overall, generically, no one used to be like, yeah, it's okay,
Correct.
but pehle padhai kar lo.
Pehle padhai.
That was the idea, or that was the kind of a thought process.
Environment,
that
what was that way?
But that's what. So I don't know if that is prevailing today or not.
Right.
But at least what we can do as our bit is that we can have a healthy space
Okay.
where you can at least brainstorm.
Right.
So the idea might be crazy.
Correct.
It might be failing. It might have already failed. But what if you get a space to just talk?
Correct.
So what I see is there are many such students or many such startups, which I'm sure that the other panelists will second me on that. They might not have done a very good entrepreneurial journey. They
True.
might not have come out with a very good startup.
True.
But they have become a very good public speaker.
Right.
They have gone, or they have come back with a different entrepreneurial thought.
So true.
With a
so
different entrepreneurial
true. Skill or something, right?
which is helping some other entrepreneur build their journey.
Very, very true.
So, I think that what we are doing at Entrepreneur is, firstly, yes, we are creating a space where you can talk, discuss whatever you have.
Correct.
And secondly, we have certain flagship programs,
Okay.
like Shark Teens,
Right.
which is focused only on teen entrepreneurs. See, here I am, tagging the same thought that I just spoke about.
Sure.
We are giving them a space to talk.
Correct. Correct.
So when a student is studying in 10th standard,
Right.
12th standard, 11th standard,
Right.
or 9th. So recently the Shark Tank season 6 we concluded
Okay.
in June. Okay.
Right.
And I'm telling you, we had a team who won the first prize, and first prize is a funding of amount of up to 1 lakh we
Wow.
gave them. They are just 14 years old.
Imagine.
Just 14-year-olds. And I'm
Imagine.
telling you,
Yeah.
don't take them lightly.
Right.
They will ambush you.
I'm sure.
So you talk to them, they're like, one of the sharks, they asked him, the student, which school are you from? That's not your concern.
Wow.
Nice.
That-
You just listen to an idea, please. And in a very smooth tone.
Smooth way, not
without
in a
even
rude way.
sounding rude.
Right.
Like, they don't teach us anything, so it doesn't matter.
Let's not get into that.
Yes.
These are not good name. Names.
So later on, I did get to know the name. But yeah, not to mention that,
Correct,
but that's how
correct,
it is.
right.
So see, those changes give you a boost that yes, what you're doing is in the right direction.
True.
Then we have initiatives like Anthracon.
Okay. Interesting name.
Yeah, wherein we, wherein we collaborate with investors, HNIs. So when I say investors, I mean HNIs,
Right.
potential investors who have money and want to invest but don't know in which direction to, other than the traditional PF and
Land
stock
or
and
stocks,
yes,
gold,
yes.
etc. Right.
Exactly. So, those investors and the VC bodies, we
Oh.
collaborate with them. So, last one that we did had around 110 investors
Quite
from
a sizable.
across industries, and we have only 20 startups.
Okay.
So,
okay.
we have a precise discussion between these startups and the investors one-to-one.
Nice. Very nice.
And out of them, the success stories are 2
Right.
from the last event.
Correct.
But the immediate success stories are 2.
Correct.
But the rippling effect goes beyond it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a long-term thing.
Yes, yes.
And investors in Ahmedabad is always known for money. There was always money, there was money, there is money, there will be. But people were very conservative initially. But now they are very much open. The way they invest in land, gold, every alternate person is asking, can we invest in your startup? Can we help us, guide us? They don't know. They are very novice in that. But with team like yours, you can always guide what to do, where to do, and how to do.
So we are trying our best with every season of
Right.
these events.
Correct.
We try our best to just come out with so we don't do events for just the sake of it,
Correct.
or just
Correct.
taam jam,
Ah.
or just for the glitz and glamour.
True.
We do it based on outcome. So based on this season's outcome, we'll be planning the budget and the planning of the next season.
Got it. Very nice. Very nice.
So we have to see to it that the last season's budget and fund has been utilized by them, and there is a certain outcome.
Got it.
So we have good success stories out of these.
Yeah. You're more
programs.
of a quality conscious startup.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
about 2 or 10 or 20
Yes,
purpose.
yes.
It's very nice.
That's how it is going on.
Excellent.
They
Excellent.
do Chota Party also.
Yes.
What
so
is it?
that is a very important.
No.
So he was not there then. It was a transition between Tanvi and Jeremy.
Okay.
That was how it was going on. So we do this startup. National Startup Day is 16th of January.
Correct.
Okay. So on that day, this was an idea by Dr. Viral Shah.
Okay.
So he is the promoter of
They are in
of
Antrapreneur.
our
Right.
incubation center,
Correct,
Antrapreneur. So he got this idea that the most formal outcomes come from the informal conversations.
True.
So the tagline is as such that formal outcomes, informal gatherings.
Right.
So that's how so what we do is we call everyone who is related to the ecosystem and on our phone book.
Nice. So it's all,
So
everybody's invited.
let's say I'll invite Jatin and I'll say, you let me know who are 10 such startups who should be involved.
Who should be involved, right?
So we are having investors, startups, potential investors, everyone, student startups,
Community as well.
everyone in there.
Right.
So they get a space when you eat
Correct.
good food
Right.
and talk about next funding ho sakta hai kya.
Correct. Good.
That's how
Good.
it is.
It's like a live LinkedIn. Great. And Jatin, usually what's your process about each eye? How do you function?
So our approach is that as a founder would need 100 things.
Right.
We do one thing.
Okay.
Is bringing people together again and again.
Correct.
So every weekend we do a lot of smaller startup meeters, but it happens across cities, across countries, different types of format.
Okay.
So from a bird's eye view, it looks like an insane platform,
Right.
but for individual level, it looks like a 2-hour meetup.
Right.
So as people spend more time, they realize that this is an interesting platform.
Correct.
But individually, it's a 2-3 hour meetup that we do. We end up partnering with our friends,
Right.
like Antrapreneur, Venture Studio.
These meetups that we do remain free, open for all.
Very nice.
You
Go to each other ventures,
Right.
you will see different kinds of events. So, for example, if you're in Ahmedabad today evening, there is a event which is called Manufacturing Startups,
Okay.
which is happening at GUSEC.
Okay.
So people who are into manufacturing, they'll be part of
Correct.
it. The Saturday events are slightly broader themes.
Okay.
The Wednesday, Thursday, it is very specific to some
Specific to
people.
domain specific.
Right. So that it doesn't compromise on your work. If
Correct.
I'm running a manufacturing business,
Correct.
if
Those
I'm
are only
attending a
interested will
manufacturing
come.
founders meetup, doesn't look like I'm attending a user meetup.
True.
The weekend meetups are slightly broader
Correct.
ecosystem. But this happens across all the cities.
Very nice.
So as a whole, it becomes so. For example, there is Himaja. She was part of our event in Hyderabad.
Okay.
So she wrote a LinkedIn post that 3 years back I was in Singapore. I attended the ICHA event and I
Okay.
met some interesting people, and now I'm part of ICHA Hyderabad.
It's right.
So I haven't been to those events myself.
Correct.
Neither in Hyderabad nor in Singapore.
Right.
But in somebody's journey, and it is not an ongoing thing.
Correct.
Like she is not part of all the events that ICHA does.
Yes.
But some stage in your life, ICHA plays an important role
Very,
in
very
the longer
well.
run.
Very.
So entry point free, open for all.
Right.
But as and when people have something specific they need in life,
Correct.
and they encounter an ICHA event which is helpful for them, then they have a very different experience from what we do compared to someone
True.
who just discover and attend a one meetup.
And interesting. I know few people in town, younger generation, they said on weekends, we don't go to clubs, we don't go to Gymkhana or Rajpath, we go to Ichai. So that's a progressive thing to hear that. I said, what do you do? What do you do there? No. It's a very refreshing place to be. We come to know something about business. We come to know what to do, where to do. This is a generation with very tender age, very vulnerable age. They have money, they have aspirations, but they don't have guidance.
True.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a success story for Jatin.
Definitely. No, this is very kind, to be honest.
This is something that will make him sleep aram se.
Then I'm wondering that would be a very boring way to spend a weekend.
You have to
It's even more exciting.
you have to raise your own bar.
We have some events that the youth will run.
Yes, correct. So we will integrate some of them.
Right. I was just talking with him before this, that Chamber of Commerce, Gujarat Chamber of Commerce. I was the initiator of that event, that arm particularly, and we had done each event with you probably 2000. I don't even remember 15, 14. Yeah,
12,
12,
13 is the time.
12, 13. Right. Yeah. So it's a consistent long. Right. Yeah. So it's a consistent long time.
Yeah.
16 years.
16 years. Right. So Jeremy, what are your thoughts for Ahmedabad ecosystem? How do you compare with your SFO background?
Yeah, so Ahmedabad, I think, has a very vibrant ecosystem. There's a lot of resources here, a lot of shared knowledge. I think, as you were mentioning, the angel network, the investor network is growing quite a bit. Folks are realizing that startups are a good opportunity to invest in rather than traditional investments.
Businesses, right.
And then thanks to eChai, there's always some vibrant event programming going on. At Venture Studio, we work with startups across the venture readiness spectrum, from ideation to growth. So at the university, students come to us with ideas, and we have the Student Startup Innovation Policy, thanks to the government of Gujarat, where we give them access to up to 2.5 lakh of funding.
Funding, right.
Yeah, and so I think we're about to fund about 5 more student projects.
Nice.
Everything from fintech to medtech.
Okay.
So it's great to be working with these students that have interesting ideas, and then be able to lean into the investment partners or the industry partners that are able to provide pilot opportunities. And shared facilities.
Right. Very impressive. And what do you see are this current youth interested? There are two kind of people. One is start their own startup, and second thing, students who want to work with startup ecosystem. Are we thinking in that lines by any chance, any three of you?
So I would like to just give you a brief. So I'm sure all three of us have worked with and are working with the youth, the student community.
Correct.
So we all will have our own point of views, but certain things don't change. Certain things are the
foundations.
So yeah. So in that, I would say that few people in the current time. Currently, the thought process is everyone wants to be a founder.
Correct.
Everyone wants to have a startup.
True.
But they don't know, what to do.
Correct.
But there was a time when people were doing business.
Right.
But they didn't know it's a startup.
True. It's a venture. It's a business.
They were doing a business.
Right.
So Dhirubhai Ambani did a business.
True.
Okay, Karsan Bhai did a business.
Bilkul.
And that has disrupted the market then.
Correct.
But now we call it a business because there are multiple such businesses.
True.
But back then it was a startup.
Correct.
But the word was not there.
Correct.
Simple.
Very true.
So right now what I see is everyone wants to be a founder, one.
Right.
But they don't have an idea, or they don't have a proper idea. That is two.
True.
So a few days back, there was a group of students who came up and they were like, ma'am, you have so much of idea. You are working with so many startups.
Right.
You give us an idea, we'll work on it.
Got it.
I was like, okay, but why would you work on my idea? Like,
right.
No, ma'am, because we don't have an idea.
Right.
You give us an idea. We want to found a company.
Right.
So I gave him their talk and I let them go. But just imagine.
Right.
So they are ready to work on my passion.
Right.
How can that be fulfilling going forward?
Correct.
So what I see is, because of that, people who realize that I don't have an idea, currently I cannot become a founder. So what they do is, very judiciously, through bodies like ours and then communities like eChai, they seep in, they understand what others are doing, and they are like, okay, I agree, I now agree and I know that I don't have an idea.
Right.
So rather than that, this person is doing and I working on an idea, on a passionate idea.
Right.
Let me enroll with him,
Correct.
work with him, and see to it that going forward, maybe I'll get something of my own.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll find my purpose.
Of course.
So it's all about purpose, right?
Agreed.
So maybe, so that's the reason people are, it's like, people come to me, rather than going to the traditional
Placements, right.
people come to us.
Correct.
And they are like, ma'am, aapke paas koi startup hoga? Do you have any startup who wants to hire?
Correct.
So I'll readily call him
Bilkul.
or some other friend or I'll call you saying that,
of course.
this is so and so profile.
Right.
And they readily get hired.
Of course.
So we can take a probation of 2 months.
Correct.
But for a company like EY or
Right.
Deloitte, it will be a for
Long
30
process.
stages long process. So that is tough for them.
True.
So that's what I see.
No, I agree. So purpose is, everybody cannot become a founder. We wish everybody can become, but the population would be the other way. More investors and rather than more startup founders. Currently, there is a stage, I believe everybody will agree. Currently, there are more investors than startups. In Ahmedabad, a city like Ahmedabad, everybody wants to be an investor. Everybody wants to do that. It could be small amount, could be 5 lakhs to 5 crores. But there is a large chunk of people. It is like, what in Ahmedabad we call everybody is doing a stock market or a real estate business. Same way people want to get into startup. So I get a lot of opportunity or inquiries that I want to work for a startup because they don't have aspiration. They don't want to have an ownership or nor a confidence that I can run a startup. But it's a cool thing to work for a startup. Instead of working for some traditional business or job. I'll give you a small example. One of our friend called up that you are running multiple IT companies. Or one of my friend's daughter has just done MBA from Nirma University and wants to work in banking sector. Okay. So I said, banks, I cannot help, BFSI banking, but I work in fintech. So I saw her profile, CV was good. I told my HR to speak with her. And first thing, I'm only interested in bank because, that was a traditional business. Whatever she was taught in her university, that you have done MBA in finance means you have to work in a banking sector. I said, so my HR tried to explain, ma'am, this is a fintech, which is a financial technology. It's something we are doing something for bank. On first call, you don't reveal everything, but you've been referred by so and so. Then I don't want to work. After some 2 weeks, this friend of mine again called up, okay, please help my friend's daughter. She's at home doing nothing and her parents are worried. I said, I called her up, but she didn't. She responded this way. I told her in a little polite way. She doesn't want. Isn't it? Please try once more. So again, she did, and same response. Third time, I called up. Okay, listen, I've been again called by so and so guy, and I want you to be at my office so and so time and see what we are doing. No, but I only want to work with bank. I said, no matter, you have to work with bank, but you have to be here. Until date, now she's my oldest employee in one of my accounting firm, fintech called Acomation.
Yeah.
And she's one of the lead pre-sales person who understands finance and is now selling our data entry automation tool.
Great. So Acomation is incubated at Antrapreneur.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we have a startup called Acomation, which is a data entry automation, where we evade the traditional way of doing accounts. So it's a plugin for all accounting softwares.
Again, in Acomation, if I would like to, bring in your knowledge to that, it is again a fintech product which has a very varied team. The team behind it. So at first glance, the product will not be very fancy. But when you understand the applicability and the team behind it, when you relate to them, then you understand that the product will anyhow be a success. Because you know the wiring behind it. So that's how it is. So,
No. Thank you for your kind words. Yeah, to be honest, it's just because I'm not saying it is my product, but it's a genuine product, which is, so today accountants as a profession is dying. We have to accept. Nobody likes to do, if you ask even your house help, your drivers or servants, kid, son or daughter, that I'll pay 10-15,000, go and learn Tally and you can work with me. But he or she will not agree. They will rather work with some delivery app or food app or some supermarket. They will stand able to hear their music around the day, stand in an AC rather than sitting in front of computers. But no business can do without accounting.
So, if you may allow me,
Yes,
I
please.
would like to I would like to frame a few questions for Jatin.
Sure.
So yeah, so Jatin, basically, there are several community-driven activities going on around the world. Okay, even in Gujarat. Why do you think eChai is going successfully, and why do you think, what are the pillars? Because there are many people currently who would be listening to us, or even in future, and right now we all know that things that are coming to the future are the community driven activities, community building. This is going to be a very futuristic positioning going forward. So why do you think that eChai is a success, and what are the pillars of its success, so that it can be a takeaway for the audience?
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for asking this. So with eChai, we are able to continuously do that. So whatever we do or what our approach is not necessarily the only correct way. There could be multiple correct ways. But
What keeps us going is we're very operationally light in our approach. So we don't have our own space, and it's a huge thing for a community activity. You need a space, so that's a huge component. So we are able to partner with good organizations. But generally, what I observed when people partner with organizations, they expect everything else from them. In our case, the idea is that there is one big thing that they are already giving us, space. Other thing, it is up to their choice. If they want to contribute more for the creation of that experience, that is great. Even if they don't do it, that is also fine. So then eChai becomes an interesting organization, because then sometimes what happens for a lot of those people who have spaces, incubators, accelerators or VCs, they may feel that the other party is trying to piggyback on their network. So that opens up huge opportunities for us, and they would like to come back to us again and again.
so that is when we are able to sustain partnerships. Generally, what happens that everyone is able to partner with everyone at least once.
Yeah.
But 2, 3 times, 4 times it doesn't go, because the goals are not aligned. Goals may be not aligned even now, but
The working experience is good. So work ethic is good. So one of the things that we realize that in our communication we've been very clear in how we approach things, and that remains. So I realize in the long run work ethic works, because there are so many people that I haven't met, they haven't met me, but they met somebody who has worked with eChai, associated with eChai, and they recommend someone. I'll give you an example that recently we did an eChai event in Toronto. So there's a friend of mine whose friend has started up a very high-end furniture studio in Toronto. And he was like, I want to build something around community. And he was like, I can ask Jatin if eChai wants to do it or not. So we had eChai's Toronto event. So in a way, it's a huge leap of faith for them.
Correct.
Because I'm sitting in Ahmedabad,
and that person is opening up his entire infrastructure
For eChai.
for eChai, and he doesn't know that and who will enter in his premises. That is very
personal, very expensive for them. Still, the person would have trust that because somebody who we trust recommended us. So a lot of those nodes are there, and that is helping us thrive. But as a whole, be operationally very light, work ethic is good, and continuously do it. So we are able
Consistency.
to. That is the another aspect. Sometimes what happens, and the biggest thing to be able to do is to fear of failure prevents for people to do it. Like we are fine nobody turning up at a particular event. We are fine experience of a particular event is not up to the mark that a typical other event that we do. So willing to take a lot of hits. Generally what happens when you want to organize gatherings as a community, you want to make sure that the experience stays to a certain level, because there are famous stories about McDonald's and everything that we've heard that experience has to be same everywhere.
Right.
That's a correct way to do, but we were willing to take those hits. We may not be a McDonald's, and not every eChai event would have a great experience. So that helps us try n number of things again and again. And sometimes when the momentum picks up, the minimum experience remains good. Sometimes it elevates because of the gathering, but base level experience remains interesting. So these are the 4 or 5 points I realize that helps us sustain for longer and to be able to do things again.
Great. Nice.
Yeah, reaching up to Toronto, sitting here is not a small task.
So another thing, I made a lot of friends in life.
Of course.
So you can have all the tactics in the world, but if nobody is trusting you, then what you can do? So
True.
more than detect this friendships that
Correct.
as we build over the period of time has helped.
No, that's yeah, goodwill matters, and now that you're building a goodwill.
So one of the examples of the community part,
Yes.
in one of the GVFL sessions, I think we met when I think Jaideep bhai.
Oh.
There was this one airport Ichai thing that he
Airport
did.
itself.
Acha, okay. What
That was interesting.
At the airport.
So we
Yeah.
did so the idea is that's fear. There is no fear of failure.
True.
That if nobody turns up, that is fine.
True.
So we had a thing that whatever. So at airport, you do Bangalore.
Correct.
Just to for a fear of missing a flight,
Right.
you end up reaching airport very early.
Okay.
So you have 4-5 hours to kill.
True.
What if there was a startup event? Because like you, somebody else is also interesting.
Correct.
So I have so many ideas that
Of
we ended up
course.
discussing. So I told my friend that this is my idea, and he was like, I am in Pune airport.
Okay.
And my flight is after 3 hours.
Right.
Should we give it a try? And he was like, okay, let us try.
Yeah.
And then we announced it on Ichai that somebody else,
Okay.
who else is in Pune airport, and there were 2 people who were like, we are also at Pune airport.
So nice.
So it went. So the agile, we are very agile in our approach.
Correct.
So there is a possibility that I announced it on social media. that
Right.
I am planning to do a event at Ichai airport, and there is a high possibility nobody responds.
Of course.
So,
Of course.
so it is very bad, right?
Right.
You announce on social media that I am doing an event, nobody has turned up.
True.
So that's a hit we are willing to take.
Right,
Then
right.
nobody turns up, that is also
That is
fine.
also fine,
So that
right.
doesn't define how we are.
Correct.
So that's why number of people doesn't define.
Of course. Yeah. But
So
but
that helps you take that.
yeah. But the purpose is achieved. To be honest,
it's
yeah.
all very good.
I always tell everybody that airport is a place which is one of the most busiest place. At same time, you are one of the most loneliest place. Yes, as you said, you go to any country or any city, 2 hours, 3 hours. There are thousands of people around, but you are hooked to your iPads or book or coffee or whatnot. With events like this, can make a difference.
But the risky thing is that what if people miss the flight?
Right.
So I have to add a disclaimer that don't forget.
Correct. Yeah. So you have to
So the main thing is to keep the main thing.
But Jatin, I'll tell you, IITians, ex-alumni, they have a group called IIT Airport, and they make a point. So nobody's full-time there. But say you join there wherever you are at any airport. If somebody's there, they will make a point. They will meet there. So it's not a full-time group. Not everybody's a admin kind of thing. Whomsoever are traveling, go there.
Someone crazy might have come up with it, and it is it is useful.
And it is a hit.
Yeah,
And with
yeah.
cities like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai, you'll find thousands of people, 100 at least.
Somebody's always there.
Somebody's always there, And
Of course, if I have a morning flight at 4 o'clock,
Right.
I'll be there from night onwards.
Correct.
So what would I do the entire night? I will either read or loiter around.
Correct. So I think you should make it an IP and start working on it.
How many IPs would we come up with?
Good idea.
Yeah, approach Adani. They'll make it
The
monetization.
reverse has happened.
Is it? Okay.
They have approached you.
They have approached.
Not for this idea.
No, but any airport, you could be GVM, could be GMR, could be Adani. Purpose is it's a good thing, community building at this place. Probably start with a kiosk at airport. Jeremy, your thoughts on what are the grants which Gujarat is offering?
Some of the most successful interactions that I've experienced since joining Venture Studio are at these events.
Yes.
Even the workshops that we're starting to have now, it seems that people are hungry to learn new skills.
True.
So we've recently introduced the AI workshop.
Okay.
So we had a full day workshop where folks give a brief background about artificial intelligence, and then it moves into the hands-on learning. We're planning another workshop later this month where folks will learn how to build an app in 1 hour. So there's a lot of no-code tools out there that teach people coding through native language. So I feel like those types of workshops really bring people together that are hungry for startups, hungry to become entrepreneurs or meet other people like-minded. And then we also have the webinars for upskilling, like a financial modeling workshop webinar and one MedTech IP workshop.
Okay.
So those events we've seen a lot of success with.
Nice. And you also have this mentor mantra.
Mentor Manthan, yeah. So
Manthan.
that started off with you have a Shark Teen, was it?
Yes,
Teen, it's
Shark
called.
Teens, yes.
So this one we kind of thought of it as a dolphin tank.
Right.
So more than funding, it was for feedback.
Correct.
And so we brought together mentors on a call once a week, one startup.
So it's like dolphins and sharks in the same sea.
Well, we discourage the sharks from attending. We want folks that are friendly, that are open, that are ready to give honest, actionable feedback.
Correct.
So we ran about three months of that program. We recently paused it, and we're redeveloping a new model for that program that will actually integrate some AI recommendations, but also the mentor matching.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
And how was students or the incubators' feedback? How did they enjoy it?
They really liked it because it was the first format that they had where it wasn't, high expectations. You have to perform. You're going to get a check or you're not going to get a check out of this. We managed the expectations so that it was more, it's not for funding, it's really for feedback.
Right.
And so come on the session, ask questions of the mentors about what you're struggling with, whether it's go-to-market strategy or fundraising. And the mentors on the call, sometimes investors, would also feel very comfortable to tell them their honest feedback.
Very nice, very nice. And if you can highlight on your labs, you have specific, this Tinker Lab, I was part of some jury a few months back.
Yeah, so we did just launch a new tinkering lab on campus. That's separate from the engineering lab.
Right.
But it has all sorts of power tools and workbenches for students that are working on some hardware startup. They want to make a prototype fast. They can come there in a couple hours, use the tools, use some of the raw materials, make something that's functional right here on campus. The other lab I was speaking of, the BioNest facility.
Right.
So we have all sorts of wet lab space. We have a lyophilizer, an HPLC machine for folks doing experimentation and running different tests. We have cold storage. We even ran a workshop there for plant in vitro. So people learned how to grow bananas.
Oh, is it?
Actually, yes.
Okay,
that
so
was an interesting hands-on workshop.
Right, so it's a mix of agri-tech.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Interesting space.
So I think that, it's a lot going on around in the ecosystem. There's a lot going on around, building for the startup, with the startup, by the startup. So I think, there should be something which we should be co-creating with the incubation centers and the other enablers too.
Correct.
So there are so many ecosystem enablers who are actually working for the community.
Correct.
Or for building the startup ecosystem. So there should be something. I think, Jatin, you should be the one who should start on doing on something wherein, the incubation centers, because, incubation centers and organizations like ours, we have a particular SOP.
True.
Wherein how we operate. But people like you or each doesn't have a SOP. You can do anything and everything around the ecosystem.
True.
So, we can do something which will be collaborative and co-creative with the incubation centers. What I mean is the major stakeholders of the ecosystem.
True.
Bringing them together and,
so something can be done on those lines.
Because there's so much, there's so much going on. So let's say there are so many people who come to the ECHI sessions.
Correct.
Having a list of what are the infrastructure facilities available around the
True.
ecosystems
Right.
can actually help them.
Correct. And just adding on to your point, another thing, since one of the purpose of this
Yes.
is that people who will be listening, they may
True.
want to explore more opportunities.
Sure.
If somebody is a founder in Ahmedabad, the opportunity for that founder is not limited to people who are in Ahmedabad.
Correct.
Because there are a lot of global organizations who are looking for us. If you're an exciting apply, you can apply to Y Combinator.
Right.
Apply to Enter, you can
Apply to Antrapreneur
True.
first. And they're also looking for people.
True.
And another thing is that a lot of these prominent global organizations, even if they don't have a physical presence in Ahmedabad, every year they at least end up traveling so many times.
True. Very
There
true.
are so many people who travel to meet LPs for
Correct.
their funds.
Correct.
So technically, if a major fund may not have an office in Ahmedabad, but their partners are visiting Ahmedabad
They are.
to pitch to someone.
Right.
So in a way, whenever they travel, they are looking for more exciting opportunities.
Oh, definitely.
So as a founder, there are 30, 40 organizations which do something in good capacity, but there are 100 others who
Definitely.
can potentially help them. So founders should not limit their opportunities based on those 30, 40 people in the city.
Correct.
But the same opportunities are available somewhere else also. And another thing is that you don't have to wait for the ecosystem in your city to develop for you to succeed.
True.
You can always go travel to Bombay. You can
Of
travel
course,
to,
of course. Yeah,
Singapore.
definitely.
And anyways, that has happened. If you look at Jitex Dubai,
Right.
there will be at least 400 to 500 business startup folks will be in Dubai when the next Jitex comes.
Correct.
So people will figure out their own ways.
Very
So
true.
there were a lot of government discussions that what if we give global access to our startups?
Correct.
Whether the government has a program or not, people have started traveling.
True, true.
So whether an ecosystem enabler would do anything or not, people will try.
True, true, true.
And because of this latest advancement in AI, the baseline is changing.
Correct.
People are moving much faster.
True.
Everybody is just trying to figure that out.
Right.
So this is where, as a founder, they will scale, and this is where, as a enablers, also people will have to scale themselves. That whether whatever work they are doing is relevant or not. Because if you look at every cafe in the city,
Right.
it's coming up with a co-work kind of a model.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for a lot of incubator, if the value is that you provide the space, that entire benefit goes away.
Very true.
Because now there are more avenues, there are other people.
Yeah.
Another advantage was that you help them connect with a lot of people. But there are so many global organizations. So there are organizations, but there are global organizations where a lot of people in Ahmedabad are also part of it.
Right.
So that also changes.
Definitely.
So and another thing from a founder perspective is people generally rely on one person's Reddit answer or a Quora answer or a Twitter.
Right.
Tweet
True.
meetup. That
True.
the person defines that this is the ecosystem. They don't do their own research.
Correct.
That's why when you meet a lot of those global folks,
Right.
when they come to Ahmedabad and when they ask, does the ecosystem exist?
Right.
Simple Google would have answered that.
True.
So that makes me question the intelligence of that person.
Right.
That you're supposed to be a leader
Correct.
in the ecosystem and you don't know what is happening.
What is happening? True.
Ahmedabad.
Right.
Simple Google would have done. If somebody gets surprised
Right.
by knowing, okay, this is a great startup, you tell the story to them that, this is very exciting business. And you're like, I never knew.
Yeah.
But Ahmedabad has this.
Right.
Then that makes me question the intelligence of that person.
Person, not the
Either
platform.
or that person is just
Random.
our intelligence. So it is a problem, right? So this problem is that city has a problem to communicate their stories.
True.
That's a valid problem.
That's a valid problem.
On the other side, there is another problem that you couldn't understand that.
True.
We would be able to name ecosystem players or the startups in every other city,
Right.
which are the prominent ones. So simple Google gives the answer.
Correct.
So a lot of people who look for support or who provide support, they themselves don't get it.
Right.
And a lot of their behavior is also influenced by some popular folks.
True.
A popular investor or accelerator in Silicon Valley or in New York has done something.
Right.
So their entire understanding of what to do for the ecosystem stays around that.
Right.
Yes.
So if you want to improve, we should
Right.
not improve what every user is trying to improve.
Correct,
We should
correct.
improve on first principle thinking.
Correct, correct.
What is the ideal thing to do? We should try to achieve that, whether somebody else is also doing it or not. So if we try to go in that path, that will help you get better outcomes.
Of course, of course.
As after 5 years, the same discussion will
The
happen.
same discussion.
The people have moved to the next baseline.
Correct.
Now that everybody started up,
Aye.
10 years ago the discussion was there are no spaces. Now spaces is the solved problem.
True.
Grant is a solved problem.
True. It is.
So the baseline will change, but
True.
discussion will
Remain the same. Yeah. So I always say, 100 people are trying to solve one same problem, but this 100 people never meet. So, they are being in the
Again,
same
yeah,
circles.
But again, there one major problem is that, see, now what he mentioned was that during the weeks they do during the weekdays they do specific sessions.
True.
In the weekends they do
Mass.
or broader sessions. So people think that if I know how to do networking, I am done. No, that's not the solution. Networking will never help you. You have to do structured networking. Let's say I'm going to any event for that sake.
Yeah.
I should know that I have to meet Chinmay Shah there.
Correct.
And by meeting him, this is the certain agenda that I can discuss with him.
Of course.
Until and unless I don't have the clarity or intellectual capacity, I don't think it is going to help me.
True, very true.
I might go to Y Combinator and not know what to do.
Exactly. Then it's a waste. It's for both, rather
So that's how it is. So the structured networking is more important than networking.
True. Very true. So in fact, we at Startup Steroid, we only help incubators like you. We have 4 platforms. One is called Deal Flow, which is a catalyst between investors and startups, or family offices or incubators. Second is a demo day, where whatever events you do, we, instead of typical Google form kind of thing. We help you to do an event in an organized way. Third is we do a platform called SPP, Special Purpose Vehicle. So we help Indian startups to go to set up in USA, or somebody from USA or other part of country, they want to set up in GIFT. And fourth product is we have a ready tool, which is called Ready Score. So what it does, it's a pitch evaluation tool. So for example, all of you have been going through multiple crazy pitch. Could be, forget the color part, forget the content part, could be 6 pages, 10 pages, 20 pages. Before it reaches to you, are they investable ready or not? But the reason I'm sharing you this is the fifth point. What we just started is Startup Steroid think tank, and that we are doing currently with IITs and IM of India. And purpose, it's the same thing. Everybody has their own strength and weakness. AU has, Ahmedabad University has, ECHI has, and Antrapreneur has. You all of are doing something very, very same thing but different way. Let's do something in a fashion that everybody's on same page. We know your strength, we know your weakness. Anybody who comes to India or Ahmedabad, he should be put.
I have an opinion. So
Yes.
people enter with that.
Right.
Eventually, what happens once they find their space,
Right.
they then want to work with people who are above their hierarchy.
Correct.
They want to be with popular people. None of these people who are trying to build an ecosystem goes to the commerce colleges,
Right.
to the engineering colleges. This is where the real
Yeah,
ecosystem
that can happen.
Then they will say that we work with this curated set of people.
Right.
So they enter the ecosystem trying to bring them everyone together.
Okay.
Then you go in the silos saying that I want to work with good people.
Cream.
So
Correct,
that's a
correct.
cycle that we've seen over and over.
Right.
Everybody who tries to come build an ecosystem goes away after 5 years doing so, which is not a bad thing.
Correct.
But if your entry point was then I would bring everybody together,
Right.
then the discussion changes.
That might defeat the purpose. That's what you're trying to say.
And then people
Right.
end up working with, then I only work with billionaires. I work
Correct,
with
correct,
only
correct.
people who are Series A people. I only
Right.
hang out with them.
Okay.
But when you entered, you were saying different things.
Different
You
things,
wanted to
yeah.
unite everybody together.
True.
Now you don't want to unite. At the same time, you want to be seen better than everybody else.
I'll tell you where this initiated, this think tank thing. Say, I had a group of Japanese people who came from Japan and they wanted to explore Ahmedabad. Now, to be honest, Ahmedabad, we have to accept, it's not at its peak when it comes to startup ecosystem. But Japanese being Japanese, you won't believe, I hosted 135 Japanese people for a 2-day event. And I didn't know where to take them, how much we can speak with them, what is the purpose. And these are very high profile guys who genuinely, and the way Japanese were. So I took them to IIT Gandhinagar, I took them to IFI, Gift City, whatnot, whatever possible kind of their level investment on what they were talking. Just after a week or 15 days, Jatin, there was a group of Russian people who come, delegation. Now, and I said, again, this history repeats, same, meet them, take them out for lunch, dinner, and end of story. And there was Vietnam and on. So purpose is somebody I randomly don't know who even gave my number and the delegation approach. And they said, we want to invest in. So everybody's eyeing on India. And I think we should make it more organic way. The purpose of Think Point, that was it. I had not a single commercial approach. Instead, in other words, I gave more time than it was required. But being a good host, that is what I did.
Yeah.
So that is, I think tank could, we can make it little moderator or make a rule kind of thing.
No, so my point was not about you specifically.
Yeah, no, in general,
The
anybody,
reason-
not only me. I'm
When
saying
the question comes why people don't work with each other,
correct.
because eventually they want to work with people who are better than their hierarchy.
Correct. Could be.
That is the reason that prevents people from not doing it,
Correct.
because you have to let go.
Correct.
And that is not ideal. You don't get an ROI of your efforts
Try.
when you work with people who are, and that prevents everyone from working with you.
So what he's trying to say, like if I can, because I have had that kind of an experience myself. So
Okay.
if I can, reframe it or rephrase it.
Please.
So when you are happily doing a thankless job,
Right.
then you are actually doing it for a cause.
True.
But if you're doing a thankless job and cribbing about it at the end of the day,
Ah.
like, dude, I'm doing a thankless job and
True.
why am I not being thanked? then so basically, if you're working hard when no one is watching you,
Right. That's the best thing.
yes. But if you're working hard just because you're under the camera
True,
or you're
true.
under some
Yeah,
limelight
so
or with
visibility, what we call.
so I have been to places
Hmm.
where there is only one bus a day
Right.
to
Imagine.
mentor people who don't even think that they need mentoring. They're like
Up you, why are you here?
and I've stayed in their house because there is no hotels out there.
Right. So that's
you know,
indeed a
so no,
noble cause.
What I'm saying is that this is the first time I'm talking about this under a camera.
Of course.
But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying is, I've done that,
Right.
but at that point I was like, what am I doing?
Why did you do this?
But
You-
after doing that, I felt such a relief, like, after convincing them that you need this, you have to file a patent, otherwise this might lose the credibility. If you file a patent, you can do this, that.
Correct.
They're like, okay. So they're asking me a question, how do we know that you are selling the truth?
Correct.
Then there's one guy in their entire gaon, in their entire village, who knows how to read and write.
Right.
So I showed him the Indian Patent Office website and showed him that this is how it works. Then he said to the woman that, yes, it works.
It
She's not
works.
lying.
Correct.
Then she made me sit, eat roti and fed me a chas. Like, okay, she's not lying.
Right.
I wanted to ask you,
Sure.
few of you can respond.
Sure.
So currently whatever you do is based on the resources that you have.
Correct.
And that would dictate your actions.
Correct.
Assuming you don't have a resource problem, that
Right.
you have a lot of money, and you are supposed to do your thing, what will you do? If you don't have a resource problem, you want to do a demo night, there's 1,000 people auditorium, there are big screen, and so you don't have a resource problem. So what things you will do, or what in your existing stuff?
So one of the biggest challenges that I've seen in the ecosystem is some unified system to bring people together, and also to be able to document the startups, to map the ecosystem, to share the resources. So there's lots of different platforms out there. There's government platforms, there's private platforms that are trying to do community building. They're trying to collect data from startups. So what I would like to do, if I had the unlimited resources, is build that unified platform that brought everybody together under one system so that we could get one data flow, analyze that data flow, and then also give recommendations back to the startups, back to the incubators, so that they could say, okay, startups at this stage, in this geography, usually find these types of challenges. Here's what you can do to solve them.
Okay, interesting.
So, I have this one very crazy thought. You can cut this if you think that you should not keep it on your podcast. But, I think that we all know about angel investors, angel investment. Sri Ratan Tata ji was one of the pioneers who brought in angel investment.
Those days, right.
Very
early.
back, very early, even before startup and all that.
True.
It was just funding an idea. That was again entrepreneurship.
Correct.
Inside
Hybrid.
their organization they started, and that's how it started. Anyways, so my thought is that if taken it in quotes, if I have unlimited resources, by resources I firstly mean money. Okay.
Right.
So I would like to have a fund wherein I would gauge the team without even going in depth into the idea and give them X amount. Dude, you are the team, take this money, work on it. Because what I see is people need to have a self-realization that, okay, my idea is not good. Rather than cribbing about it 10 years later that I would have got this money, I would have done something crazy.
True.
So you realize it. If I give you 2 lakh rupees and I tell you, you take this money, this is one basic agreement or basic notary that if you do something, then you give this money back to me without any, or with any
Collateral or
debt or
anything,
whatever,
right.
basic, whatever the clause might be.
Sure.
And if you don't do, then okay, fine. But you have to, if you don't do, you have to, give a declaration online
Correct.
on social media.
Correct.
That, I took this money from Debopriya,
Correct.
but I couldn't do
Right.
this.
Correct.
If
Okay.
this is the clause,
Right.
if you can do that, then take the money. On that clause, I'll give the money.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting. Chinmay, what would you do if you have unlimited resources?
So unlimited resources, to be honest, the lab idea, what Jeremy mentioned, I had that since very long time. build a state-of-art lab, help people to utilize it. Today in IIT all over India, most of this who's who MNC, forget Indian companies, they come and do research there. Purpose, it's a resource. It's not only about the money, but the kind of certifications, the kind of instruments, kind of STEM labs could be, 3D printers, whatnot. That will help a lot of people to create something.
Interesting, very good idea.
And what would you do?
So I've been thinking on those lines, the way we are building ourselves. So even if we have a lot of resources, I don't think we'll change a lot. For example, I'll give you a hypothetical. So our base unit is what? We do this to our meetup. That is our base unit, but we have thousands of such units, so it looks like a platform and a bigger platform. But assuming that what we do here, even if I have more money, what would I change in this part? We already have fantastic value because of a
Partners, right.
It's just that those who don't have a partnership, they have a value problem, because through our uniqueness of how we operate, we don't have that is not an expense. Another thing, expense could be you will give them the highway snacks and everything. So that is a logistics that I want to avoid. So even if I have the means to do it, I don't want to go there and do the discussion. So even if I have it, I would not do it.
True.
So that is also out of the question. Another thing you could do is you get the best of the folks. So if I'm doing an event around AI in Ahmedabad, probably ideally I should be able to invite some very prominent person from Singapore, from San Francisco to travel to. So, but we also have meetups happening over there also. We have founders traveling to there also. So it also interesting.
Contradicts.
We are anyways near that. That anyways these people who are part of it. So right now we are in a very interesting situation. Even if I have a lot of things, I still would want to.
So maybe maybe if I were Jatin, so I would say that I would see that the event that is happening in Singapore or Tokyo or somewhere else, if sitting in Ahmedabad, I can have the technology to host it here.
Correct.
And feel that I'm there. That could be a resource.
So that is also logistics where I want to avoid. So for example, we did an event in Ahmedabad where Kathy, who leads our San Francisco chapter, she was part of the panel.
Okay.
And she was so idea that when you do hybrid events,
right,
the online twist should be 15 minutes.
True.
So that else you lose the attention.
True.
So she was there for the 15 minutes and she was like, let us do that when we do event in San Francisco. I was like, I don't know.
Come there.
This is an additional so I'm in a very interesting situation that even if I have more resources, I would still operate the way I'm operating right now.
So in short, everybody is contented. Everybody is satisfied. So
no, we are scaling at an instant scale.
I know.
The ambition is much bigger.
True.
It is much beyond. That's why eventually every discussion that happens, what is the end point of that discussion?
True.
That end point would resemble what each eye does today.
Correct.
So you have any gathering, at the end of the day, people will talk about what? They want to create smaller communities, very specific set of people.
True.
You just don't get very popular people.
True.
So at any ecosystem gathering that you will have, they'll have some 10 bullet points.
Correct.
And those bullet points will resemble what each eye does today.
True.
So it is already beyond a lot of people.
Correct.
And we have seen the sign that a lot of people are trying to do what, because we had that belief in our model that if we bring 10 people together who are not super successful, that is also not a bad experience.
True.
People are realizing now.
Correct.
Earlier, to bring an event, you need to have a popular person.
True.
Because your audience is dependent on having that popular person.
True.
Yes.
And that was the reason that the entire thing was that for an event to be successful, you need to have a very super successful.
True.
Because you are dependent on bringing the audience because of that person's.
Correct.
Now people have started realizing you don't need popular people, you need people who can have that peer-to-peer experience.
Of course.
So even in that zone also, we are fairly ahead of the curve.
Of course.
There could be a question whether what we are doing is as good as somebody else or not. This is a fair argument.
Right.
But what we are doing is something that everybody is also trying to do that thing.
An interesting purview.
So my question is over. Jeremy, you want to open up a discussion?
Any questions, concerns, or
The question that you always wanted to ask.
So yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying all of the event programming that I've seen. So what are some events that you'd like to see that you think could bring people together, or skill enablement in Ahmedabad? what would you host, or what type of events would you like to see?
So hackathons are one of my key preferred events. Second, something in terms of deep tech is needed in India. Largely, everybody is talking about food delivery, everybody's talking about payment gateways. We should move beyond that. And any could be, our current national issue is cyber security. If there are defense tech or deep tech events, and you should, with institutes like you should invite or do a hackathon kind of thing. Unfortunately, whatever defense tech or I met, end of the day, they are making drones. Nothing beyond that. Now, drones has limitation. They are good, but there is the licensing issue. There is multiple issues. There is height issue. We should think much beyond this. Start with, I always encourage any product, because I'm already into products. I have never made services, software as a services. Make in India is a big initiative. So with your lab or IIT's lab or IIM's lab, I encourage startups to start making in India. So do some kind of competition, give them resources. Could it be Arnido? Could it be Raspberry Pi? Could it be GoPro of the world? Give them a platform and ask them to create something. Something what we do on my business side, we build STEM labs for schools, which is IB board or ICSE board, and a student we have our own app. It's like a Lego. Create something, and there is a 3D printer in the corner. Whatever product you make, you see it live, and from that Lego it makes to build your own drone. So that joy from scratch to flying is a long process, and that ownership. And it's not about expensive toys. We are giving something to Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. We are giving to Anganwadis. Purpose is let technology be popular. We don't know the potential of each Indians. Why it should not be privileged only for the riches or the certain mass. So I think that is one of my preferred platform.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't have to be an event. It could be a program.
yeah. So definitely, so I would say an initiative. So being in Ahmedabad, being a part of at Antrapreneur, we have associated with during our events and programs, we've associated with different bodies like GCCI, FICCI Flow, FICCI, and several organizations. And we have seen that women have a very different potential, but one thing that is missing is the financial literacy in the women community. To a level, it is missing. But then again, they earn money, they have money, they are earning money. But what if they and they also have a higher EQ than men? I know this is a men-heavy panel,
No.
but we have to agree that women have a higher EQ than men.
True.
So when they have a higher EQ than men, the initial investment of startups are very EQ oriented. So, you like the team, you like the idea, or you resonate with the age that, they are, in this age, I also had an idea, but I couldn't do something.
True.
Something like what you are doing,
True.
These come from there. So if these women are made financially literate and they know how to fund startups, at least from 2 to 5 lakhs, I'm not talking about a huge leap, 2 to 5 lakhs or 2 to 10 lakh. So, certain kind of program when they are taught to invest and the outcome is they investing, not just take the workshop and leave.
Right.
They investing, they taking the risk of investing. You can buy a Gucci or Armani bag of 2 to 3 lakh.
True.
So you can invest up to 1 lakh or 2 lakh in a booming startup or an idea.
Very nice.
So if you can do that, that is one initiative that I would love to work on. So if that is done, even if for 10 women, I'm not talking about a huge
Numbers.
So if 10 women, and out of that I have 3 success stories, that's a boom for me, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Very interesting. That's
Okay.
And my ideas for you would be, something around art, tech, culture, entrepreneurship, integration of that. Because Ahmedabad also has a very exciting
Heritage.
scene going on, culture scene going on. Something which integrates tech entrepreneurship with art and culture. So that could be very exciting and
New and interesting for everybody, because people that you are trying to reach out to, the corporate lead heads, they are part of culture community, because in any prominent business of Gujarat, they will be more active in culture ecosystem than a business ecosystem, because for business ecosystem they'll go to US, they'll go to London. So if you want to get hold of them, it is better to invite them for a cultural event than a business event. So something on those lines, that is one.
Another, with you being part of Ahmedabad University, Ahmedabad University has one big asset is students, the thriving academic hub, and the infrastructure. So something which aligns with these two things. What if, so right now people have access to glimpse of it.
Correct.
What if you do figure out an interesting way that if you're an exciting founder, if you have this
Brief threshold, you get a chance to be part of academic session that Ahmedabad University has, because there are a lot of people, everybody who comes here, right, praises the campus. What if you there is a particular professor who is also in this thought, who is teaching marketing, so MBA marketing class of Ahmedabad University, if you have 3 startups, can be part of this thing. So this will be very exciting for
That's
people
wonderful
to
idea.
experience.
so something where you are integrating them deeply. And anyways, the sports infrastructure is more popular.
Open source.
Then you have the, so if you fit into, if you're under 25, you have this startup, then you get to be part of the, so students also don't get overwhelmed with somebody else. But if that happens, that would be more exciting for people. So that would be interesting ideas.
Very nice. Yeah.
So we do the vice versa thing. The vice versa we already do. So startups who are, let's say we have 34 startups who are doing good in the marketing, we call them for the sessions.
Correct.
To teach,
Correct.
to teach the students.
Yeah, definitely.
And startups who are doing good at product building or technology or let's say SaaS.
Right.
So to explain them what they're actually doing as SaaS,
Correct.
not just SaaS as a
Of
definition.
course, of
And they get a real world scenario
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So
exactly.
instead of just going in the industry and then later figure out.
Yes.
Right. So from their experience, in their words, they can express.
Yes.
That's an interesting view.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because all these things take instant logistics effort. That's why I avoid that. So that's why I won't focus because it's the logistics is side, then execution is easy.
So he is trying to keep his model operations and logistics light, but he's trying to give that burden to you.
If you figure that out, then who to invite, how to engage, that is a solved problem. Sure.
So the way we have Ahmedabad Heritage Walk, there should be Ahmedabad University Walk.
Yes.
Say, to be honest, I was speaking with somebody in tourism a year back, and they are trying to build a program for Ahmedabad or Gujarat called night tourism. To be honest, the way Ahmedabad, we are getting immigrants, to be honest, outside India, outside people shifting to Ahmedabad for good or future. Every year on year, it was 7 to 8%. But now it is conservatively 18 to 20% since last 2 and 3 years.
Okay.
So, because it's a land of opportunity, people are shifting, infrastructure is state of art, comparatively standard of living is not as expensive as metros. But if you ask, you have a guest, where will you take? End of the day, we end up serving them good food, morning, afternoon, breakfast, evening, lunch, dinner. Gandhi Ashram would be closed by 5:36. So would be Adalat, so would be Sarkhej. So they are trying to build something called night tourism, where each of these places will work in a shift until midnight. And Ahmedabad University, I believe this campus is 24/7
For students.
for students. Yes, yeah, of course, right. But something like that.
So you have to be a student.
You have this campaign CM for the day. you get 10 classes for students for the day.
So you got all the student privileges for the day that you are assigned.
Maybe we have one of these 24-hour hackathons. We can definitely open up probably.
Yeah, so its purpose is just to keep the city vibrant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever we are doing is for the city. Great. Thank you everyone for coming. It was indeed a very insightful information from all of you and how Gujarat is shaping in the startup ecosystem. You all three are very integral part of it, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
we got to discuss among ourselves that we never discussed.
Correct.
Ideas.
That's what a
Yeah.
think tank is about. Thank
So
you.
that's a good start to your think tank.
Sure. We'll initiate. We'll keep it that way formally. Right.